Hey guys, it's Sam, and this is my spoiler-free review of Tress of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson. This is a standalone adult fantasy story that takes place in the greater Cosmere universe. This is following our main character of Tress, and she lives on a small island that's within the Emerald Sea. So in this world, there are a bunch of different seas that are actually made of what they call spores, and those are like magical particles that rain down from different colored moons in this world, and if they get activated by water, something bad happens. So in her sea, the emerald one, they sprout into like trees and stuff that can like totally consume people, like in a scary way, that if it like gets in your mucous membrane in your eye, it can just like grow a plant into your eye and kill you. So some like really messed up stuff potentially. But at the beginning of the story, she's just a young woman who is trying to help her family scrape by. She loves collecting cups, and she is in love with the Duke's son, and they have like a running bit that he's not actually the Duke's son and whatever, but he ends up getting taken away, and she ends up having to go and basically save him because something happens, and she's like, I gotta go get my man because I'm just like a nice kind of person. And she sort of stumbles her way through by a lot of luck and also her being incredibly smart through this adventure. So as I mentioned, this takes place in the Cosmere universe. You do not have to have read other Cosmere books, but if you have, you will get some additional tidbits in here because this is chock full of different, just like one-line references to other Cosmere stuff. But one of my good friends who hasn't read like any Brandon Sanderson actually read this as his first introduction to Brandon Sanderson, was like, it was just good. And I didn't catch like any of those references because he hasn't read anything else. So you can definitely read this as just a standalone thing, but if you like the Cosmere connections, you'll be into that too. So first off, I'll talk about the world building. The vibes of this are like a Brandon Sanderson take on The Princess Bride. So it's this like adventure, but cozy and just like fast-paced and fun and funny. The lines in here are so funny because if you are familiar with Cosmere stuff, this is written from the like perspective of Hoyd, one of the characters that you get in a lot of Cosmere stuff. So you have his humor in here, and there's so many good lines. There's so many good lines. It's so fun. The chapters are short, and it's just like a fun time from like a vibes perspective. But as far as like the worlds and stuff, this whole idea of there being spores, and it's like they have all these seas, but they're not actually like oceans with water, and the different ways that you can use those spores. Like, again, the Brandon Sanderson magic system is always going to be really fun and well thought out. And apparently there's other references to this type of magic in other Cosmere books. I didn't pick up on any of that, but all of that is very fun, and it's sort of like a piratey story because she ends up having to go to sea and do all this stuff. So all of that, very fun. Next, I'll talk about our characters. I love Tress. I love her, and the way that Hoyd writes about her, and like the way that the story even has like it breaks the fourth wall a little bit, and it also talks about like her hero decisions and like the ways in which she becomes sort of a hero and that people love her. The quirk of giving her a love of cups and collecting cups is so cute, and she's just a pure good soul. And one of the things also is that she doesn't like to inconvenience people. That comes up a lot. And it's just super cute and super sweet. And all the other characters are really great too. You have this crew of characters that's really fun. You have a talking rat, like a magical talking rat. You have so many things. There's like, there's dragons at one point. There's like so many things. So this, again, super cute, super fun, and the different interactions and things and the little like found family that she meets. And lastly, we talk about the plot. As I mentioned, sort of Princess Bride, cozy adventure. So there is always stakes and like pretty high stakes, but it doesn't feel tense. You want to keep reading it because it's like a fun story, but again, doesn't really feel tense. And from a like perspective on Cosmere stuff standpoint, so fun because I've read like a decent amount of Cosmere stuff. Some things I picked up on, some things I didn't, and I definitely went and was like, what was this? Like I did a bunch of sort of what are all the references in Tress searching after, which was really fun and got me sort of like reinvigorated for the Cosmere. I mean, I'm currently reading, and I've read a few of the Stormlight books this year, about halfway caught up on like the Stormlight stuff, but I'm still not like completely caught up, and I went into even like reading order of how people think you should read these and whatever. But this just like reinvigorated my love for Brandon Sanderson books, and this is like so fun. So if you haven't, like, this could be for anybody. I think if you don't like Brandon Sanderson, you could still really like this because it's told in a very different way and is technically a standalone. But if you're also really immersed in Cosmere stuff, this has so much fun stuff for you. So yeah, I loved this. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. Highly recommend. So fun and cozy and adventure-y and sweet. And yeah, I loved it. I would do a spoilery gush talking about all of the little things, but there are so many books on like Sanderson things and Cosmere things and connections for Tress. Like, please go look at one of those. Someone else will have done that way better than me. But if you want to talk about any of the references and things, feel free to comment them below. Just leave like a spoilers thing for people so that they don't run into it. But I would love to talk about all the different references and things in the comments. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.